guys, welcome back to another video. Pseudonym here, and I'm starting up a new series called Alias, and what we're going to be doing in Alias is just going over all the different things you can do in Sony Vegas Pro. And I'm pretty sure what we do in, I'm using Vegas Pro 13, but I'm pretty sure you're able to do the same thing in Vegas Pro 12 and Vegas Pro 11 if I'm not certain. And what we're going to be talking about today is masked overlay transitions. And what exactly do I mean by mask overlay transitions, right? So I'm going to show you this little ramp view here. And you see how at the end here, this opens up, right? So let's just, right? Let's just put that on loop. Right, so basically this color right here that pops up as soon as these two lines open up here, and it just covers the entire thing, you know, as an overlay does. And I made sure to mask it so it meets all these different points here and there's no space gap in between that. So let's go and see if we can recreate this in another template. I'll see you in a moment. Alrighty, so let's get to it. So what we're gonna do here is open up your Sony Vegas, go to media generators. I'm just going to do red and blue so I can just show you what the transition is going to look like from red to blue. You can use whatever you want. You can use a video file if you're using this on your own personal project. I'm just going to show you how exactly I was able to do this, you know, with fairly, you know, not much trouble. So what I'll do here is just go and get my project overlay here. I'm going to create another layer by holding Control-Shift-Q, and I'm going to keep the overlay here and put the red on top. Now with this, let's just play this again. Let's just mute the red layer for now. Right, so what we're gonna do here is just, we can just go into your effects, and don't mind all of these, just go into chroma key here. Here's Sony chroma key here, and we're going to get rid of all of the black, right? So make sure there's nothing left. Put the low threshold, pull it up a little bit until you don't see any artifacts, to where you see the blue under it. So just like that. And now as it leaves, you want to start seeing the red, right? So as it comes in here, what I'll do is just, I'll make this much smaller to fit the transition here. And I want to find exactly when all of those spots meet up as best as they can, which seems to be about right here. So what I'll do is I'll make a marker, and then I'll go into the transition itself, and you'll figure out why I'm doing it this way after. And what we're gonna do is just, we're gonna create a mask. I'm gonna bring that one over here, and I'll start the mask. I'm gonna make sure I have the grid spacing on for the beginning, and I upped it to 64. I'm pretty sure that's the maximum you can have it. And what I'll do is, I'm going to get my anchor point here, and I'm gonna put four anchor points. That one right next to it. put that one right there, and then till I get that. And then I told you to make sure you have it on enable snapping with the grid spacing on 64, so you're able to go in here and make sure the line, like as you see over here in the preview, the line doesn't show up. But I just want to make sure to put it to where you don't see the edge of it in the corner here. So I'm going to make sure it snaps at the end of your video here. There we go. And then we're just going to put it on just horizontal. You can only move the points horizontally. And I'm going to make sure to just put them on top of each other right there. I'll go up here and do the same thing. So in the video preview, you don't see anything there. So when I go to the next frame here, so you can see that if we go over a frame, then this is probably the best point that we want it at. So we're just gonna move the marker right there, and what we're gonna do is just we're gonna start putting some more anchors down so we can make sure to get all the black spots out. Okay, so we're gonna go a frame here, and every frame you go you want to make sure to put down a keyframe so it doesn't overlap too much. You know, as the further I peek into this, it actually gets better and better to transition from. So we'll move it down even more. We're gonna just forget about that and just move it right here. Okay, so we're gonna put the starting point right there. And then we're gonna create another keyframe. Then we're gonna move down. And as it opens up right here is where we're going to actually start opening this up. So what I'll do is just I'll move this down here. So it can fit the frame. But I'm going to disable the snapping so I can get a little bit more precise on the edges of to make sure I get all of the black or the background out, right? So that's that frame taken care of. We're gonna go over one, create a keyframe, and go over another one, and you see how this opens. So you just want to make sure you adjust your cropping for that, and you want to make sure to always not if you're going to move this entire line, you grab it by the point, because if you grab it by the line itself, it does this weird circle, and you don't want that. I'm pretty sure you don't, but if you do, you know, you can feel free to do that if you wish. I'm just going to not drag the line and just move my point to where it needs to be, right? And then I'll move this upper point here. Let's say right there. That looks about good. And then I'll move this one down here. Okay, that's good for that frame. Then I'll move that one. All right. And then we're going to do the same exact thing. This frame here by just dragging over again, because you're gonna start having to add a little bit more once this actually the animation finishes, but we'll just continue to go on. Add another keyframe, And there you go. See, another one is already starting to open up. So what I'll do is I'll just drag this one. I'll make sure to finish this one here. Pull that all the way over. Right, and then I'm going to create a new anchor with right here, our anchor creation tool. All right, I'm gonna put 4 points down. Make sure they're all connected to each other. Then I'm gonna turn snapping back on to where I can move them to make sure they're on top of the video or on top of this plane here. Make sure it doesn't interfere with the preview. So we're going to go to our normal edit tool and just can zoom in a little bit here. And we're just going to make sure that it's on vertical and just go up until it hits that snapping point at the edge of the video there. Same thing with this one, even though I'm pretty sure both of them were already there, just to make sure you can do them individually to make sure they're on the edge of the video. And then we take snapping back off and just go back to our horizontal. Make sure you're not on horizontal and vertical, because then if you're moving the mouse left or right, then you can mess up the edging on the top and bottom, and then it wouldn't come out correctly. So you want to make sure you always have your X only. Oh, see what I just did there? I dragged the line. See, that's a good example of how you can start making mistakes, but you can easily fix that by Control Z, which is your undo. And then what we'll do here is we're going to zoom in, make sure we get the edge of that. And then we're going to get the edge of this as well. We don't want to go too far in because you can already see that it's creating a few lines there that we have to fix in a moment. So the bottom is all right. It's just this top portion here. Yeah. See, we just gotta make sure that all of that is out. And we can see that there's a little line here. Maybe you're not able to see it, but what I could do is just double click and then just slightly move this over to make sure that it's selecting the entire crop area, and just slide it over to the right by 2. Then we're just gonna go to the next frame, create a keyframe, and then this is where it gets a little bit more tricky. Right, so given that I have this one already selected, I'm just gonna slide that over until it meets that area there. And given that this one is basically done, but until it actually leaves the frame, I'll just keep it there for now. And none other black areas have come up yet, so we're just gonna stick to this one here. And what I'll do is just click the line and then grab my point here to slide it all the way down, so I don't have to, so I just have to only pull 2 points instead of pulling all 4. This could save you a little time, you know, not by much, but it's a little thing, given that it keeps the angle you already set it at. So all you got to do is just move the 2 points, and that's all it. And then we're gonna do is move another keyframe, create that keyframe, and then we're gonna move another one here. Yeah, we're gonna move a keyframe, and then we're gonna slide this one here right there, and then we're gonna make sure to select that line there and move it all the way over. And then slide this one a little bit over to make sure you're just getting the black area. And then we go another keyframe, we add one. I'm pretty sure the overlay is running at 30 frames per second, which is why it doesn't transition every frame. It does it every 2 frames because my properties are under 60 frames a second. And you see how this part here, basically like way out here. So we'll just do that, and we don't even have to worry about that anymore because the next frame it'll be out of our way. And then we're just gonna do here, and we're gonna just drag this one over as well, and we'll just go to our next frame and practically do the same thing until till it's over. As you can see on this frame, another one is opening up, so we're gonna make sure to show that some love in a minute. Once you deal with that one, now you wanna go to your anchor tool and create another set of 4 points, right? And make sure you have enable snapping on and go to your vertical, just your Y. Make sure you're on your normal select tool. And just make sure that it's snapped on the edges of the video there. So you have no problem with having to deal with all of that spacing and stuff, because you know sometimes you can crop and then it'll just not look right after you're done, and then realize you kind of missed a few spots on like not getting the edge of the video, and so you have to go through every frame, and you know I don't really want to go through that ever again because I made that mistake, and now I've fixed it. Right, so we're just gonna go here. Oh, we're gonna make sure to take our snapping off. I was wondering why I was making such a big jump. Yeah, and then we're just gonna select that. Okay, that goes. So we're just gonna go on the edge of that, on the edge of that there. We'll go up, edge of this one, right? Okay. And now you can still sort of see the lines on the second one here. So what we'll do is just slide that over, and we'll do the same with this one as well. And it's gone. And then we just move down another keyframe, add, and here we go. So what we're gonna do is just this keyframe that's already out of the frame, I'm going to just move it all the way over here. We don't have to deal with that anymore. And then I'll just make sure to move this one all the way down. You can also just click the line and move it with your right arrow until it hits the line. And then what you want to do is just drag this other side here all the way out to make sure you always have the black area covered in this crop. And now we want to make sure to get this one here that's opening. Show that some love. You can just make sure to fill that up, and once you start seeing that again, you don't want to see that over there in the preview window, so we're just going to move back a frame, and there you go. And then we'll go another frame, add a keyframe, and here we go. So you have to make sure also to know where your keyframes are and your anchor points, as well as differentiate between what you're cropping out and what you've already cropped out. So because adding a lot of these crop areas here can get a bit confusing. It's just seeing them every other frame, it does confuse me a little as well. So do that and make sure not. Oh, there's a little line here. I'm not sure if you can see it, but I'll just move that out of the way. Create another point, and then go to another frame. Okay. So then what we're gonna do is just click this line here and then press our right arrow key and slide it all the way down until we don't see that line anymore. And we'll do the same thing with this line here. Just slide it all the way down. And then make sure to have this one here catch up with the end of this white bar here. Okay. We're going to create another keyframe and go down as well. And as you can see, a little bit more of these black lines are opening up. So what we'll do is just the same as we did before. We'll do this. Slide this one all the way down here. This. Okay, see, we're done with this one here. So we can just slide that one all the way out. And this is what I'll do with this one as well, so I don't get confused on what is what. I'll just make sure to slide that one all the way out too, to where it's just invisible. It's basically a line on top of a line, like we did on the first frame here. Oh yeah, okay. Then we're gonna just create a tool, a anchor point, not a tool. You can consider it a tool. Make your 4 points, and then you see this one starting here, so we'll show that. Well, we can make our 4 points now. Right? Yeah, it's not all that good, but we'll fix that. Okay. So what we'll do here is we're going to change to our vertical tool, our snapping, and then make sure to get, and then make sure to get these points on top where they're supposed to be. Right? Okay. Then I want to make sure I go back to my vertical tool here. Not vertical. Horizontal. Yes, I keep getting confused between those. Yeah, move that line over here. Then we'll move this. Make sure there's no problems in the preview there. Then we don't have any problems there in the preview. Nope. Okay. Okay, so then we're gonna go another keyframe, and this is where you have to really keep an eye out for what you've done and what you haven't done. And we're going to move this one over until it goes away here in the preview. Then we're going to stretch this other side out to meet up with this right here. And then we're just going to move this over a little bit to get rid of that line there on the preview. And then move this one over to cover this black area that's just been created. And that has still stayed over there in the top left corner, still stayed as is. Okay, then we're gonna go over keyframe, add a frame. Let's move our timeline down. See, we're almost there. We're almost there. Don't you worry a bit. Okay, and then we go over a frame, and now we see this. So we're gonna start from our right, and then work our way down. So we're gonna make sure to adjust this one here, and then move this line all the way over here. Okay, and practically, since it's on the edge of the video, the next frame, basically we don't have to move the right side of this crop area. We just have to move the left, because I'm pretty sure it's going to be hard clicking on the right one, given that this is on top of another crop area that I just minimized. And then we're going to go over here to this one and make sure to move it down to just cover the black area. And we're going to slide the right side down to fill up that right there. And as you can see, there's another one that's just been created, huh? What a nice thing, isn't it? And then we're going to get our anchor tool. Make sure to go all the way down. And then we can go on our vertical to make sure they're on the top of the video, because it can really get annoying once you realize you haven't lined up your video correctly the entire time. And then we want to just go back to our horizontal and get off the snapping, and then we just want to move our points where they look good. Make sure you're not missing any black area, and in the preview there you can still see a little bit of the overlay. So what we're gonna do is just move that over a little bit. See if we can get rid of that. Oh, actually, I think it's that one. Yeah, it is. And then we're just gonna move this one here to make sure that's gone. All right, that seems good. Okay, so then we're gonna go another keyframe. Make sure you create the keyframe in between, because if you don't, then your crop will move a little bit slower and or faster than the actual overlay you're trying to keep with. That's why I continue to do it. All right, so we're gonna move this keyframe, this crop actually, that's all the way over to the right. We're just gonna move that all the way down here to meet up with that black area there. And then we're going to click this line, move that all the way down, and then move that here. Then we're going to get the edge of this one and move that all the way down to fill up this area. Move that a little bit over there. So okay, there we go. You always want to make sure to check your preview to make to show that you're not missing anything. Create another keyframe, and then we go down and do this all over again. And you can see that all the way on the right side that's been taken care of now. So we just drag that on top of this one here, and we just forget about that one. And now we just move on to this one here. Make sure we get all of that, and then go all the way over here. Now we move that over by 2. I just found this out by just doing this with you. When you click the line, just by clicking the right and left arrow, it's so much faster than doing it with your mouse and just dragging it one by one. And now you can see that this here is opening up a little bit more. So what we'll do is just slide that over a little bit, and then go to our next keyframe. All right. So what we're gonna do here is just select this one. Hold on, let me go back a frame here. Okay. So what we'll do is just make sure to keep up the crop with the given area that it was in, and stretch that all the way out until it meets up with that line there. So that's probably like 3 different crop areas now. And then we want to drag this right edge here all the way over so it meets that, and make sure to not have any of that showing up on the preview. And then what we'll do is have our vertical tool and bring all the way down. You want to enable snapping so it meets the end of the video here. You want to bring it all the way down, just so we can do this properly and not have to adjust it as we go through. Now we're going to go back to our horizontal tool and take snapping off. And we're just going to meet the edge of this one here we'll move this over and we'll just stretch that out for a second. And there we go. Just want to make sure that we got that black area all dealt with. And I'm pretty sure the next line isn't going to be all that big, so we'll just thin it down right there, and that looks good. All right, next frame. Create that keyframe and then go down again, and then you want to make sure to keep from right to left, given that transition is going from left to right and the crop started on the right, so we're just gonna make sure to always keep that in mind so you don't get confused on where you are. And we'll just move this area all the way down here, and now we just move that line all the way down right there, and you can see a little bit more stuff has come up on a preview there. So what we'll do is just click the line and then just click the right arrow to make that go away. Okay, so it's that line right there, right? And then we go to our next keyframe. Boom. All right. So this line here gets pushed all the way over to this one. Then this line gets pushed all the way over to this side right here. And then same thing with this one. It gets pushed right there. And then just this line here, we don't even have to touch the back line. And there we go. Our next keyframe. And now we don't even have to deal with this one anymore. Put that on top of that one. And then I'll just drag this one all the way over like I did before until it meets the edge of this one right here. Then I'll drag this one also again. Boom, right there. Okay. Then I'll create another keyframe. I'll go down again, and then we do this. We drag the left part of it. We don't even have to move the right side anymore. And then we drag the, oh, I moved the line. Oops. Go back in here. And then we just drag the right side here all the way out till it meets that edge. And then we're going to create another keyframe and go down one. And now we're just about done. Just this one thing left that needs to be out of the frame, and we're almost there. And just drag the right side over here. This is basically your normal cropping. Once you're able to picture what you want, you're able to get whatever desired transition you want, as long as you know how to work the transition cropping and masking tool and stuff. I've been saying crop this entire time. I'm pretty sure it's just mask. What we're going to do is just create that keyframe and then move over one again, and then move the left side of this all the way over until it meets the edge right there. Then move the right side of this last mask. I'll just go with mask now. Then go over another keyframe, add a keyframe, over one more, and we're done with this one as well, and just put that one on top of that. And then we're done. We're just gonna drag this one over here. All right, see, we're almost done. Then we're just gonna create a keyframe, and there we go. Boom, the entire video now is popped up, and that is a lot of keyframes, isn't it? Now, what we're gonna do here, given that we did it on this one, all we have to do now is just copy, put it on the red one here, and just paste event attributes. And then when I take this off of mute, and then I go back into our overlay here and disable the mask, you will see that as this starts here, the red is gonna start coming up. Wait on it. There it is. Oh, why is it all the way up there? Well, it followed basically what we just did here, but I'm not really sure why it's way over there. Give me a second. Let me just cancel that one and just bring in a whole new one. Whole new red layer. Right? And then we're just gonna do this all over again. Paste event attributes. Yeah, there we go. Doing it all over again. I don't understand why is that doing that? Oh, would you look at that? Resolution of this doesn't match up with this one. But let's see here. What if I just double click D to highlight all of these frames here. Then I'll just copy. I'll make sure to go on that first frame there, which is right there. Then I go into this one. Yeah, it does it correctly, but it just doesn't look very nice. I don't know why it's way up there for though. Let's drag this out here. Yeah, I don't know why it did that, but it looks to be all of right over there in this upper left hand area. So what if we do this again? Oh, there it goes. Okay. So if we do this, so I kind of figured out the issue here, but what I did, it just didn't seem to want to work when I wanted it to. I don't understand why. But if we try this again, yeah, there we go. You see that? At how it meets up. It's not it doesn't meet up on each line very that decent, but you can see how it's supposed to work, right? So from that there you can get the whole transition effect from blue to red, right? And now if you just go into here and just select, tap the letter D as in dog twice, and drag your mouse across all of these keyframes here, and just make sure you turn on feather type, put it on out, and put the amount. Oh, sorry about that. If you put the amount on 0.5 on all of them, right there, so it makes this just a little bit more fitting for all of them, for all the layers there. And if it doesn't track everything as you want it to, you can just go in there individually and fix any bluish areas that you see along this area. And hopefully you understand what I mean by mask overlay transition, and you can possibly learn from this and probably be able to show people much better than I did in this video. But I I gave you the understanding of how to do it and what you need to do it, and it's not that hard, honestly. And it just takes a little bit of time. like I had to go try and figure this out. But what I all I did to fix it was just close it and reopen it, and then magically it just decided to work. So hopefully you understand how that works, which is it shouldn't be hard because it's practically like a one-time thing, and you never have to do it again. You just save that video file and just remember where it is when you want to go use that same type of transition all over again. And I'll provide a download link for this project here, and see if you can help me figure out what the issue was with that transition not working as it was supposed to. But given that you hopefully have an understanding of what I mean when I say mask overlay transitions, and if you like this video, please let me know by hitting that like button down below, and leave a comment and let me know if you like this and you want to see more of it. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.